So it's easy to get more holidays for the holidays. Lowe's knows how to help you holiday.
There's no looking back.
Don't look back.
I wasn't really looking back, just remembering back.
Remember back.
What do you say we start from here?
With a rifleman.
Weekdays at 3 p.m. on WZMQ Me TV. WZMQ 19. This is home for CBS.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, our Washington, D.C. crew has the latest as the presidential candidates look to win some last-minute votes in the Southwest. Plus, we look at the changes this year with poll workers in Michigan now allowed to start pre-processing absentee ballots 8 days before Election Day. And we look at how UP students are getting the training they need to enter the trades workforce. Your 19 News at 6 starts now.
This is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Even though it's Halloween, a little touch of wintertime hitting the Upper Peninsula here. And for the Marquette area tonight, we'll have a mix of rain and snow. Not much of an accumulation from Marquette itself, but off toward the west. We've had some accumulation already, and make it a little more this evening. Yeah, trick-or-treaters, not the best of weather here. And we're expecting a little rain or wet snow mix in the Upper Peninsula for tonight, with lows in the mid to upper 30s. Rest of the forecast later in the show. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. And with just days until the election, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are on the road today in Arizona and Nevada. WZMQ 19 News, Washington, D.C. correspondents Rachel Knapp and Brendan Scanlon join us live to break down the final campaign push. And Rachel, let's start first with the Vice President. Where will she be? What does she need to do in this final stretch?
Good evening, Kevin. So the Vice President is going to be heading down, doing a battleground blitz in the southwest of places like Arizona and Nevada. Political scientists that we spoke with say that it's really important for her to speak with voters there about her economic agenda, because that's typically always the number one issue when people go to vote. But Arizona itself has a very unique couple of ballot measures this election. One's on abortion, the other's on the issue of immigration. Voters there will decide if they want to codify abortion into their state's constitution as one measure. And then on the immigration measure, it would basically essentially say that if you were to cross Arizona's border unlawfully from Mexico, that it could be that you could be charged with a state crime, and that then the state police could arrest and detain those people from doing that. So really, those top hot button issues being discussed right now among voters down in Arizona. Of course, Harris herself has campaigned pretty hard on the issue of abortion, and Trump has also campaigned pretty hard on the issue of immigration and border security.
Yeah, Kevin, as for the former president, he's spending the day in battleground Arizona, Nevada, and then New Mexico as well, where experts tell us he really needs to focus on the economy and on the future in order to win over some more undecided voters. Now, his trip to Arizona today is his third time to the battleground state in the month of October alone. He's expected in the Phoenix area to be holding a live show with Tucker Carlson and former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Earlier today, Trump held rallies in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as Henderson, Nevada. And experts say the campaign stops in these Sunbelt states and as well as upcoming rallies in other battleground states provide some insight as to how the race is really shaping up with just a few days to go.
The schedule tells me that the Harris campaign thinks that they have a really good chance of taking Nevada, and that the Trump campaign thinks they have a very good chance of getting North Carolina. Michigan and Wisconsin look like they're trending much more for Harris. Arizona and Georgia look like they're trending much more for Trump. So it looks like all roads to the White House are going to go through Pennsylvania.
And Kevin, tomorrow, former President Trump will be campaigning in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as well as Warren, Michigan, before heading to Virginia and North Carolina over the weekend.
And as far as Harris goes, she'll be back in Michigan as well as Wisconsin and Pennsylvania throughout the weekend. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Rachel, Brandon, thank you so much as always. For the first time in a presidential election, local clerks are allowed to pre-process absentee ballots for up to 8 days before Election Day. 670,000 Michigan voters turned in absentee ballots before early voting got started. Lansing officials were able to start processing those ballots on Monday, helping to avoid working overtime on Election Day. However, some clerks are choosing not to pre-process ballots, saying they believe it will protect the vote and avoid confusion from the public.
We're still going to have that to some degree, but it will be, it will be lessened by the sooner we get the absentees available. The more it seems like they're part of the election.
We have more from local clerks about pre-processing on our website, and we'll have the full story tonight at 11:10 Central. UP high school students are putting their career and technical education skills to work by helping with major projects in their communities. Bark River Harris senior Aiden Wandasiga is part of Construction Connect UP, a program that gives young people hands-on experience in skilled trades. Aiden has been learning from construction tradesmen as they work on the expansion of the Island Resort and Casino Convention Center. Having worked with the Carpenters Union and Gunlock Champion, he hopes to become a carpenter after graduation.
What we're all about in CTE is trying to help students make educated choices after high school. So this is, instead of just sitting in a room listening about these different trades, they're actually out trying it.
It's been a great experience just because it puts you in like a real world situation, building forms and whatnot. I've gained a lot more confidence through the program to be able to know what I'm doing and be confident with it.
At the end of the 9-week program, Aiden and other Construction Connect students will be drafted into apprenticeships. The Upper Peninsula Construction Council says it gives students a head start on their career and strengthens the local workforce.
We have a great deal of work and we need more talent in our area. All of these students have been outstanding, very responsible, know how to show up on time, very teachable. I can't say enough about what the students are doing, so they're just doing a great job.
To learn more about the Construction Connect UP program, visit WZMQ19.com. Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, John Truitt is live on East Ridge Street in Marquette, seeing how trick-or-treating is going this rainy Halloween. And later in sports, Mike Ludlam has a preview as NMU and Michigan Tech hockey prepare to face off tomorrow. We'll be right back after this.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy premium vehicle for longer than I've been alive.
If you're looking for a vehicle,
or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again,
come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Don't miss a special spooky Elsbeth on Halloween night. You can ask me anything. Were there any murders last night?
What'd you get yourself into now?
She has no memory of last night.
Oh, crap.
We're just trying to piece together what happened.
Okay, what do you got?
It was a wild night.
Elsbeth is all new CBS tonight, 10/9 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Happy Halloween.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks?
Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service.
Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
Recliners, recliners, recliners. Nobody gives you more choices than Shunk Furniture Marquette. There's a tremendous selection of high-leg recliners in stock or custom order. We have the largest selection of Lazy Boy rocker recliners, hundreds of styles, sizes, and colors to choose from. And a great selection of leather and leather power recliners, all here for you to try. We have big chairs like the Beast and small chairs that will fit just about anywhere. They're all 25 to 35% off. Shop Shunks at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Make sure the trick-or-treaters are dressed warmly as they're going out, and might need some snow boots for some of you well west of Marquette here. It'll be a chilly rain and snow for tonight, and maybe some minor accumulations there. A few of the roads may be slushy. Most, I think, will be wet. We'll have a cold Friday, and the weekend is looking better weather-wise here. So Futurecast showing those little bands of some rain-snow mix here. So those along the lakeshore, including Marquette, little, if any, accumulation, but may still get some minor amounts later on here for tonight. Everything is pretty much done close to daybreak on Friday. We'll have more clouds and still a chilly wind as we head toward the rest of Friday. And then Friday night into Saturday, some overrunning here as some warmer air tries to come in, and it will. May give us some clouds, might set off a sprinkle or a few flurries here and there. So for the Halloweeners, trick-or-treaters, some of you may already be out or going soon. Periods of rain and wet snow, a cold wind, so make sure they are bundled up this evening. And of course, off toward the west, we had some light accumulations. Watch for some of the slushiness on grassy areas and the sidewalks. But very cold indeed. Snowfall amounts through Friday morning here. Total amounts, several inches here, just west of Ironwood, where we have maybe up to 6 inches are possible, with even just west of Marquette, up to an inch or two. Marquette itself, most of this 0.9 inches will probably melt on the surface here, and everything farther east, a little lighter hits here, less than a ½ inch, maybe a coating toward Newberry and interior parts of the Upper Peninsula. I don't think it'll cause too many problems as far as travel goes, but watch for some slushiness. But the roads are quite warm, and I don't think we'll see much ice on the roads, except on bridges. Watch for those, of course, tonight. Otherwise, we're looking at that mix of rain and snow tonight, down to near 30 in Iron River, 32 at Ironwood, and chilly for tomorrow with variably cloudy skies and temperatures at best in the lower 40s. So again, Marquette, not seeing much accumulation, but those of you farther west and inland may see some light accumulations of snow. In the meantime, as we head toward the weekend, better weather, partly cloudy skies, and yes, Saturday night, time to set your clocks back an hour. We gain that extra hour of sleep, yay! And we're looking at some showers here, and in fact, looking pretty unsettled for the beginning of next week before the sun comes back out by Wednesday and Thursday.
Tom, thank you, and happy Halloween, everyone. It looks like Mother Nature is providing more tricks than treats this evening with cold and rainy weather conditions, as Tom was just talking about. Our John Truitt is on Marquette's east side, where nothing is dampening the spirit of these intrepid trick-or-treaters. Hey, John.
Hey, Kevin, how are you? Happy Halloween. We're here on East Ridge Street, where these intrepid goblins and ghosts are trying to make their way through the weather to get the candy. We're on East Ridge Street, where rumor has it that this is full-size candy country. It's sort of slowed down a little bit, seeing that we're in monsoon weather conditions right now. It's rainy and windy, and, well, it's pretty miserable. But these kids and adults are having a good time. How you guys doing? Hey, come here. How's the weather affecting your trick-or-treating?
My candy is very wet.
Okay, well, there you have it. Candy is wet, and so am I. And so is the light and the camera and everything else in this production. Anyway, happy Halloween, Kevin. Back to you in the studio.
All right, sounds great, John. Thank you so much. And we're in the final stretch of this election, and we're speaking with the candidates looking to secure the 109th State House District seat, Republican Carl Bonac and Democrat incumbent Jen Hill. Tonight we'll hear from Hill as she tries to win over last-minute votes. That's coming up after the break.
Get an 11% rebate on everything for your next project at Menards. Shop our huge selection of window images, blinds, and shades. These room-darkening faux wood blinds are $24.89 after rebate. Plus, get them cut to width for free in-store. OSI Quad Window Door and Siding Sealant is an effective air and moisture barrier. It's weather-resistant and designed for superior sealant performance. Right now, it's just $5.99 each after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Next January, one of us will be president. If it's Donald Trump, he will wake up every day and stew over his enemies list. That will help no one. If I am president, I'll be focused on my to-do list for you, the American people. I'll cut costs by cracking down on corporate price gouging, make housing more affordable, lower taxes for middle-class families, and protect Social Security. I will focus on getting things done. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message. Let's get to work.
An official message from Medicare.
I usually love plot twists, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You don't want any surprises. You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And make sure your prescriptions are covered. That's important.
And save some money.
Paperbacks and saving bucks? I like that.
Review your coverage and compare your health options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Jennifer Hudson Show loves Ludacris.
I like this.
And we're not the only ones.
I was backstage and I heard somebody go, Luda! And it's Meryl Streep. Talk about being starstruck.
See her do it. Plus, you think you can come out here real quick? A surprise that does not stop.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. We're airing our first interview with the candidates running for the 109th State House District seat. Tonight, you'll hear from incumbent Democrat Jen Hill on Michigan's energy plans. We want to note that this interview is edited for time for this newscast, but you can watch the full unedited interview right now at WZMQ19.com. All right, and let's move on to the My Healthy Climate Initiative that was recently signed by Governor Whitmer, a bill that you supported as well. Also giving with the goal, let me make sure I get the facts right here, 100% renewable energy by 2040.
Right.
Do you see that as a realistic goal?
Well, that goal was set because it's part of a treaty that the United States signed with the rest of the world, the Paris Climate Treaty. And all the nations in the world but 2 have signed that treaty to say that we are moving in that direction because climate change is a threat to all of us on the planet. And the provisions of our bill in Michigan are 2-year planning timeframes. So there's what happens between now and 2020, I believe it's 26, 28, 30, and then 35 and 40. So because the technology is changing so rapidly and the costs are shifting about how much it costs to generate electricity, how much it costs to move energy around. Every time a coal boat came in to Market Harbor to provide coal for the Shiras power plant, for example, $1 million left our community in that coal, having to pay for the boat, pay for the train to get it here, going back to Wyoming to dig it out of the ground. And so with solar and wind and batteries, which are rapidly getting better and better, we're going to be able to, but it's a transition. It's not that one thing gets turned off and one thing gets turned on. It's that we're going to use more of one and maybe a little less of the other, and it's going to go back and forth we're going to have both operating and running as we figure out how to do these things in ways that make sense in our local conditions. And I know people say, well, it'll never work up here. Well, UPCO, which serves 15,000 people in the UP, had a cap on the number of solar users it would allow. That was initially 1%. Well, that 1% cap was met in 2017, so then they doubled it to 2%. That cap has been met. We've now raised the cap on the law to 10%. People are putting solar up on their solar panels up on their house because it actually is cost effective, and you don't have to go off the grid. We can have it be supported. But yeah, it's a change, it's a transition. But the other reason we passed that law is Michigan is pulling down more money than any other state $500 million, $500 million is coming to Michigan to support this transition. So it's the government, the private sector, and last point, the nickel mine that we have and the nickel mines that are coming have markets because of this energy transition. So there are multiple benefits to the Upper Peninsula around cost, around having new kinds of energy, and then there's the economic drivers of the mining that's going to be possible because of this transition.
Sure, and I think where a lot of the controversy came from with this bill, Jen, was the fact that it gives the Michigan Public Service Commission the authority to override local governments to, enact these big energy projects. So what are your thoughts on that? And, what do you say to the local municipalities who say, we don't want that? And now they don't have a choice?
To be perfectly clear on how this works. A gas pipeline has eminent domain. That means that the Public Service Commission can come in and say that gas pipeline shall happen and it shall follow this line and you must give up the property. That is not the case. It is written into the energy law that it is not allowed under eminent domain.
Again, you can watch that full unedited interview right now at WZMQ19.com. Tomorrow on Insights, you can watch our interview with Republican challenger Carl Bonak. And Mike has your sports after the break with NMU and Michigan Tech preparing for their hockey match. We'll see how their volleyball teams performed last night. We'll be right back.
Nobody does Halloween like ghosts. Yes! But this year, Ghosts Halloween falls on, let me check my calendar, Halloween night.
She is a witch.
And we're going to party like it's $16.99.
A witch trial? I mean, how Halloween is that? I do love judging people. Sam is not a witch.
She walketh amongst the living, yet speaketh to the dead.
She's making some good points. I'm voting witch.
It's an all-new Ghosts Halloween, CBS tonight, and streaming on Paramount+.
I was having a miscarriage, and the bleeding wouldn't stop. Doctors made a split-second decision to perform an abortion. It saved my life and allowed me to have another baby. Carl Bonak wants politicians to make those decisions for women. He'd outlaw nearly all abortions. I work for Gen Hill because we need leaders who trust women and doctors. And I won't let extreme politicians like Carl Bonak leave my daughter with fewer rights than I've had.
Sometimes our neighbors need a little help. I'm Kevin Hodge from 19 News. Again this year, WZMQ 19 is partnering with Goodwill to help people stay warm. And you can be part of Operation Warm Up. Bring gently used hats, gloves, and coats to area Goodwill stores or shop Goodwill and simply round up at checkout to donate. Go to WZMQ19.com and click the Operation Warm Up box for more information. All of us at WZMQ 19 thank you for sharing your gifts.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar.
Good evening, everyone. It's sometimes tough to tell when a hockey team makes progress. NMU was swept by Arizona State last weekend. Michigan Tech dropped the pair to Clarkson, but both say they did a little better. The Huskies visit the Wildcats tomorrow night in the first of a home-and-home series. Tech head coach Joe Sean says his team will have to work hard for 120 minutes.
We have a little bit more experience, you would say, at a couple of positions. But in overall productivity and how they're playing and how they play, I think that the weekend's a toss-up and I think they probably feel the same way that they feel, they're playing against really good teams. They're defending well, they're playing hard, they're controlling some play, and they're getting it from their depth, and we're doing the same thing.
We did a good job up there, working hard, pressuring pucks. We had to clean up some aspects of our game. Obviously, that was a first-time outing for a lot of our guys. They never played in front of a crowd that big, and even though it was an exhibition game at Michigan Tech, that was a real good crowd. So the nerve should be out of our game. We got to play with a little bit more puck poise up and down the sheet. And when we do that, I think we'll start generating a little bit more offense.
Face-off tomorrow from the Barrie Event Center is 7:07 p.m. Saturday's contest at Tech begins at 6:07 p.m. Lake Superior State visits Ohio State this weekend. The GLIAC men's basketball preseason information has been released. On the men's side, Lake Superior State is projected to be the winner of the conference, getting 9 of the 11 first-place votes. Ferris State is second, NMU third, Grand Valley State fourth, Michigan Tech is tied for sixth. In the preseason first team, Michigan Tech's Marcus Tomaszek is named as the preseason player of the year. He is joined on the first team by Will Dunn of Grand Valley, Tyson Edmondson of Lake State, Ethan Erickson of Ferris, and Dylan Keel of NMU. Speaking of NMU and Michigan Tech, they met on the volleyball court last night, and it was a tight match all the way. Late fourth set, a roof by McKenna Wiesel and Casey Miners gave Tech that set 25-17, so this went to a fifth and final set. Tech led 14-13, so this was match point. Now the Wildcats get the ball to Jacqueline Smith. It's ruled out. Matt Jennings falls to his knees. Mike Lozier immediately pulls the challenge card, and guess what? It was pretty close, but yep, that ball is on the line. So we're tied at 14. And the match would continue, and Smith would get a kill to end it 20-18 with NMU winning 3-2. Smith's 28th and final kill gave her a new career high for a match. She also had a career high of 19 digs. UP volleyball poll, Calumet still just ahead of Kingsford in the large school poll, with Marquette, Negaunee, and Escanaba rounding out the top 5. Jefferson, West Iron County also had votes. In Division 4, Forest Park is your unanimous number 1. Then it's Hancock, St. Ignace, Wakefield, Marinisco, and Lakeland and Hubble. Newberry and Ewan Trout Creek also picking up support. World Series Game 5 last night. Bizarre? Yeah, it was at points. Bottom of the third, Giancarlo Stanton, a solo home run. Yankees win 5-0. Get those tickets and plane trips ready for Los Angeles. Or maybe not. It was top of the fifth. The Dodgers scored 5 runs. Freddie Freeman, a 2-run single. 2 Yankees errors on a mental miscue made life a little tougher on the Yankees. Now Mookie Betts with the sac fly in the 8th. That gave the Dodgers a 7-6 lead. And Walker Buehler strikes out Alex Verdugo to end the game, and the Dodgers win the World Series, their 8th overall, 7-6, and 4-1. And we will be right back.
Marquette is celebrating its 175th birthday, and things have changed. From a major shipping port that helped win the Civil War, transformed into today's beautiful scenery and treasured quality of life. Join Jim Koski for Marquette at 175. Discover history when Native peoples lived here 12,000 years ago. Marquette at 175. A TV 19 special brought to you by NMU. Sunday, November 10th at 11 p.m. Only on WZMQ TV 19.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She supported his disastrous economic agenda, higher taxes on the middle class. Kamala backed his open border policies, and their weakness invited wars. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower, and the border secure. But Kamala wants to double down on failure. Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Forcing schoolgirls to change in front of men, it's not normal. But Alyssa Slotkin wrote the bill to do just that. Slotkin wanted to force schools to let men into girls' locker rooms and onto girls' sports teams. Our schools are failing, and Slotkin's pushing this.
Congresswoman Slotkin is focused on letting men into girls' sports. I'm focused on teaching kids how to read. I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message. I'm a dad. I'll keep fighting to fix our schools for all our kids.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
Mr. Mattress here. We're closing out Serta floor models at big discounts below cost. Shop Shunks today.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Mathis Court is in session.
On WZMQ CBS.
We're looking at some windy conditions for tonight, some rain and wet snow for Marquette. Maybe a coating perhaps, and most of the downtown should be snow-free, but there will be some accumulations just away, and particularly west of Marquette. Temperatures will be in the low 30s. And then things improve a bit as we head toward Friday. Still cold, cloudy, but dry. And for the weekend, we'll have dry conditions until maybe late in the day on Sunday. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thank you. The Jeff and John Vinyl Show is in Marquette for its annual Halloween weekend. Ordock Brewery has been hosting this 4-day show for 11 years. The event starts on Thursday to Sunday, open from noon to close. This event has all forms of media, from CDs to DVDs, VHS tapes, stickers, postcards, and about 10,000 records. There are also live bands Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Jeff and John are always looking forward to coming back to Marquette and visiting the community.
Manner of media, and we're really just interested in talking to people about the things that they love. So we love to talk about music and movies.